If you ever wondered about how I review music and what is my mindset when I review music, now is the perfect time for you to get into these and watch me and basically hear me talk more about how I approach music and what is my mindset when I approach music to review, which is a bit different from the usual mindset that some reviewers may use. So this is going to be an episode all about my mindset when reviewing music, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's kick off this episode of SEIYUU Lounge. Welcome to SEIYUU Lounge. My name is Vanessa, and today we are going to talk about my mindset to review music. This is an episode focused exclusively about how I approach reviews on the website and what is my mindset when I review music and how I separate my personal preferences from my perspective as a professional, someone that actually has professional or at least experience as a composer and as a mixer, and how I approach music from that standpoint. So this is going to be a really brief episode, but I hope it is useful to you and it gives a different side or shows you a different side of my work at the THTFHQ and makes you understand where I come from when I review music. So let's start this episode from this point on. Actually, this is a viewable episode, so I hope you enjoy it. As always, even if I dislike a song, I always end up giving positive feedback because there are a couple of things that we need to have into attention. One thing is my opinion, personal opinion, me, Vanessa, what I like to listen to when I'm not at the hand that feeds HQ. Those are personal preferences, and usually if I was creating content for the website based on my personal preferences, you wouldn't have much content. Honestly, I would restrict the projects. The 2D music projects would be very few. The SEIYUU artists would be even fewer. And I wouldn't be talking about everyone, and I would be avoiding pop music almost altogether. I make some exceptions, and once again I make exceptions for good pop music, but that's a specific exception. But still, one thing it's my personal opinions, the other is my opinion as someone that reviews music professionally since 2010 and that always has composed music since I believe since 2006 that I've been composing music. So the opinion that comes from the person that knows how the process is of creating music, how tiring it is, how complex it is, that knows that singing is not for everybody, you need to have a real talent, is completely different from me, Vanessa, that listens to music on my free time. So I tend to separate both when I am reviewing music, because while I will be saying of bubbly pop music that I do not like it and I would not listen to it, when I am reviewing I am a professional, so I am reviewing that from a professional standpoint. Okay, I do not enjoy this music, but what are the good things about this song? It has this and that and that. It did this and that right. And it could be even better if they did X or Y. I always try to find the good points within a song, unless you are trying to show what could have been and showing and justifying why you do not enjoy something. You are just making noise. So I try to avoid, if I do not have anything positive to say about something, I do not talk about that something. And that's how I approach my reviews. Even if I say that there are a couple of reviews of bubbly pop music in this series and I didn't enjoy listening to those songs, and you can tell by my face during those reviews that I was not enjoying the songs, I still gave feedback from a professional standpoint, because I believe that songs are not easy to create. Everyone can talk badly about a song, but not everyone can compose a song, or write a song, or perform a song. So we need to give credit where it's due. It's not a song, I have to assume it's not a song for me, but it will be a song for someone. And I will not be trashing the song, unless the song is too bad. And right now I approach reviewing music from a professional standpoint, and back then it was just a hobby. So right now it has taken a different proportion for myself. So when I review music, you may see on the website most of the reviews are close to 5 stars or are even 5 stars. And that's because I'm reviewing from a professional standpoint. If it was my personal opinion, me to listen on my free time, I wouldn't listen to most of the songs, or perhaps not even any of the songs by some artists or by some franchises. And the truth is, I do listen to a lot of rock music outside of these. I do not listen to much pop music at all. And there are some artists that I love a whole lot that I actually do not listen to them at all times. So I wouldn't put my personal opinions directly in here. I usually give some taste of what should be or what is my personal opinion in a song. Usually my face reflects my personal opinion, but usually what you listen to is me talking from a professional standpoint. I want you to understand how difficult a song was to create, how technical a performance is, what they did on the vocal end, what the composer could have done that would make the song even better. I want to dive into that. I want to dive into the more technical things, because otherwise I would only be making noise. In this way I believe I am sharing knowledge, and I am alongside you learning new things and coming across new things, so that makes more sense to me at least. So yeah, that's the rationale behind how I approach music reviews, and why you will find me in the Review Advent Calendar series, sometimes in complete silence like this, not moving an inch while reviewing music, because I am hyper analyzing it from a professional standpoint, and at the same time the song may not be clicking with me. I do have active listening developed, not only because I was a composer and I did my own mixes for my own songs. It was really an indie project of mine, but also because I listen to music all the time, and I do love high quality performances, high quality songs, and I do pay a lot of attention to that. I listen to songs to a ridiculous amount of detail and frequency. I've said it before, for example, Vampire Weekend by Somasato. I have listened to that song over 1,000 times. I know each and every element in that song in full detail. That's because I like and I enjoy what I do. This is something that I'm really geeky about, and active listening is something that I do use a whole lot when I'm reviewing music. I instantly can pick apart some elements within a song. Although there's much noise around me, I can make sure that I can fix or put my focus, my full focus, in a specific element and ride with it until the very end of the song. And choose another one midway through because another one piqued my interest. I'm not listening usually to a song as a whole, I'm listening to elements of the song. My way of listening to music is a bit different, I should say, from most people. It is more... it is hyper analyzing in a way, it is active listening in another. I'm listening to music from the ears of someone that has experience with the music, or creating music, or the whole process behind creating music. So that's a bit different. But it goes without saying that I have active listening, but I cannot sing to save my life. So active listening is just so that I can analyze music really well. It is really, really useful for singers, for example, especially within groups, to know or anticipate or know how to anticipate other singers and how they are going to sing. From the very first note, they will understand how it's going to be the progression within a performance. I do know that, but I couldn't, for the life of me, save my life with singing, because I do not know how to sing at all. I know of voice tones, I can talk about voice tones, I can understand voice tones, but I do not know how to sing. And that's because I am a composer and mixer and not a singer. That's a big difference in here. And that's from that standpoint that I review music, not from a personal opinion side, because otherwise my opinions would be going down as just facial expressions, a lot of gushing on camera, and ridiculous noises that I usually make when I'm reviewing music, and you wouldn't want to watch that, I believe. So yeah, my reviews are really, really technical. They have a reason to be really technical, because I want to give credit where it's due. And even if I do not enjoy a song, I try to give credit where it's due. because that's the right thing to do. You do not need to enjoy everything. If I do not enjoy a song, I need to understand why I do not enjoy the song. It's because it's not really my taste? Yeah, okay. But if it was my taste, what would I enjoy in this song? And that's from that standpoint that I review the songs on the website, and it works. It is, I believe, a much fairer approach to reviewing music. It is less about my personal opinions and more about what a professional would assess of a song. So yeah. So this was my take on how I review music, and as you can tell, this is actually kind of simple, but it is a mindset that I believe not many reviewers have. Because when you review music, it is something that is subjective. In some way, when you review, your opinions or your experiences will in some way influence how you approach music, how the music clicks with you. So it is really hard to sometimes separate what is your personal opinion based on your experiences and your tastes, and then how to approach the music as a professional, which is to say unbiased, and look at the music and analyze the music in a completely different way. This was something that was a process for me, and still to this day I can't say that my reviews are 100% professional. They have a mix of personal opinions, experiences and background, as well as a professional side, which is to say my experience as a composer and as a mixer, which usually helps me when I review music, because I can notice different elements and elements that not many people would notice, because I do have experience using or mixing those in the past. So that actually ends up helping me, of course, reviewing music and noticing things that usually you cannot notice on a first listen, for example. Another thing I mentioned is active listening. Active listening is really important for you when you are reviewing music. If you are reviewing music critically or listening to music critically, you have to notice the little details in the background. You have to notice those elements that not many people will understand or notice on a first listen. You will notice things in the soundscape, in the soundstage. You will pay a close attention basically to how the instruments are around you and close to you or even far from you. So you will understand distances within the music. You will understand temperatures in the music. You will understand colors in the voice. It is something that goes beyond just saying I like this song because I like the rock instrumental, or I like this song because I like the guitars. It is something that goes way beyond that. It's not something about being pretentious when you are reviewing music and just saying that just to sound smart. It is something about going the extra mile to let people know that there are different things going on in there, that there is a richness in the instrumental, that there is more to the voice that then you can grasp on a first listen, that the voice, although it may not sound like it, it may be expressing different feelings or feelings that you may not even notice, and that they are underlying in the performance. So it is really awesome to look and approach music from an active listening standpoint. This is something that you can train. Not many people, or I actually believe that not many people have these from the get-go. They need to train it, and for that to happen you need to listen to music all the time, or play music all the time, or know music theory and actually execute what you learn all the time. This is something that comes from experience and repetition. So I've been doing this for 14 years, so you can tell that I have a lot of repetition in here, especially because I review over 100 CDs every year. If I'm doing this for 14 years, I have reviewed so far at least 1,000 CDs by male SEIYUU artists sent to the groups. This is crazy, but this is the truth. So when you look at this is experience, and experience can make me actually approach music in a different way. I remember some people saying that they were impressed by the way I can tell instantly within a song I have never heard before. I can tell the story, or I can understand the issues that the protagonists in those stories are going through. This is something that comes from that sensitivity, that sensibility to the music that comes from experience. So if I listen to music all the time, if I pay close attention to the little details, and especially because I'm a big geek about storytelling, I will notice those really easily. Sometimes songs need to be listened to twice, thrice for me to understand the stories. Other times the songs are not that clear about the story and leave you to make your own assumptions and determine what the story is, which is also a kind of an open-ended style of composition, which I do enjoy a whole lot as well. But I do prefer those stories in which you can tell from the instrumental, or even, basically from the instrumental alone, what is happening. I love that type of composition. And I usually find that, for example, with Lolo D in the Hanadol franchise, when it comes to 2D music franchises, and with Soma Saito, for example, when it comes to male SEIYUU solo artists. So, this was my take on how I approach music reviewing. Of course, reviewers are doing a subjective work, and this work ends up being criticized by other people, usually people that do not review music, but like to complain about others' opinions, which is messed up, and I always have to deal with that. It's part of the job, unfortunately. But at the same time, this can be really rewarding because you are showing another side of the music that people enjoy to people that are actually interested in getting to know more. Some people may be interested in how I approach music, but I believe that most people are reading my reviews because I approach the music in a unique way. I'm really, really technical because I want to be technical, and I am a geek about those technical things, but I'm not the person that knows it all. I'm always learning. I said before in an episode that I didn't know what lyrical music was until I came across Growth. So there are things that I'm always learning, and as a reviewer, you need to always be one step ahead and knowing about all the trends on the vocal end, singing techniques, different styles of composition, what is trendy or not in the music industry, to understand why some types of songs are appearing more or why some artists are performing in a specific way. So it is a work of research, it is a lot of practice. When we listen to music as reviewers especially, we are practicing. We are enjoying music, but by the end of the day, I tend to say that when I listen to music, even outside of the hand that feeds HQ, I'm not really listening to music, I'm actually reviewing it as I listen to it, which is crazy. So music no longer, for me at least, no longer is a pastime in which I just listen to the music and it's over. I'm actually paying close attention to everything as if I was reviewing it, even if it is music that is not performed by male SEIYUU artists or 2D groups, so it is crazy. This was all from me about how I approach music reviewing and how much I love these, but at the same time it's a lot of work, and that's why this year I have still the 63 CDs from 2023 still to review because I haven't found the time to do so. It takes a lot of time. One song, maybe 4 minutes, but I may take 20 to 30 minutes to review a song. And bigger albums, for example, have said that My Beautiful Valentine took me almost 8 hours or over 8 hours to review, and that's a massive album by Soma Saito. Doesn't have much more than 12 songs, but it still took me 8 hours to review because it was really intricate. Simpler music with lyrics that are really generic or really generic compositions, if a single is 20 minutes long, I will take 25 minutes to write a review. It really depends on the complexity of the music. The more complex it is, the more time I take to review. So that's why I get a really massive backlog of songs or CDs to review, and I end up not reviewing many because it takes a lot of time and effort to review music. It is more than just me listening and saying that I like A, B, or C. It goes way deeper than that, and it takes a lot of effort. So writing a review is not just something that is easy. And believe me, others will never enjoy what you write. There will be always someone out there complaining that you didn't like something that they did, and that they are really angry or furious because you didn't like what they did. And what you need to do in this case is to ignore, basically. Because opinions, everyone has those, and there isn't a really good or a bad opinion in here. There are opinions that belong to each and every one of us, and you do not need to make others feel the same as you do, because other people will react to music in completely different ways because of our experiences, our background, the music that we love, the artists that we love, our sensibility towards certain voices, which tones you like the most. Some people do not enjoy people with high voices, other people really dislike people with low voices, so that influences the overall enjoyment of a song and makes you think that maybe I didn't enjoy that much, or I really hated that song and then do not want to return to that. It happens, and it's perfectly okay. So let me know what you think about the way I approach reviews or my style of reviewing. I know that my style is a bit different from usual, but still I believe that in some way I want to help you when I review music. So this was all from me. If you have any comments, please leave those in the comments below, and leave those comments as complex or as simple as they may be, and I may choose any of your comments to feature on an episode of SEIYUU Lounge in the future. And if you are on a streaming platform, please consider following this podcast and leaving a review. Leaving a review is really simple and helps this podcast shine and bring more people to enjoy voice actors, Japanese voice actors, and 2D groups. And this is all from me. Thank you very much for watching and listening to this episode, and I'll see you guys soon.